Everybody learning something today? All right. Anybody fill out cards? Did you get a card? Anybody need an index card? So at the end of the presentations today, after Dr. Barnard's finished, we're going to do a 1-hour Q&A. If you have a question, put one question on each card. If you have more than one question, take more than one card. Want to give them out? Yeah, Michelle's giving out cards. If anybody needs a card, just raise your hand and then put the cards in the box up here. The next thing is on the half hour, so 11:30, 12:30, 1:30. Right around the corner here is a cooking demo. Oh. Hey, can you give Marcus? Can you give Marcus his gift? One for Jessica. Yeah, I got one for Jessica. Okay. All right. So with our next speaker, now that it's 12 o'clock, we are so pleased to have all of these individuals with us today. I mean, it's really been a phenomenal journey to get to this point where we're able to get nationally recognized speakers, authorities in the world of the science of nutrition, the science of lifestyle medicine, the science of physical activity and all, to really come and share their knowledge with us. And the importance of that is the fact that this helps us all change our lifestyles and change our lives. So if you're interested in staying healthy, if you're interested in living a long life, take this information and really take it to heart and use it on a daily basis. Because again, we have individuals that have dedicated their lives to this type of work, and they're passing on this knowledge to us in a way that it really can change our lives. So I have the pleasure of introducing Dr. Ayesha Sherazi. Dr. Sherazi leads the lifestyle program for the prevention of neurological diseases. So if you don't know what that term means, think about the number of individuals that you might know that have developed early onset dementia, mild cognitive impairment, just the point where people are forgetting where their keys are and things like that, Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, so many things that we deal with, including strokes and other types of vascular diseases of the brain. Dr. Sherazi completed a dual training program in preventive medicine and neurology at Loma Linda University. So as we mentioned before, Loma Linda is one of the places in the world that's a blue zone. So she has intimate knowledge of what's happening there. There you go, more blue zone people. She has a master's in clinical research from UCSD and did a fellowship in vascular neurology and epidemiology at Columbia University. She's also trained as a plant-based culinary specialist, artist. Dr. Sherazi currently is the co-founder of the Alzheimer's Prevention Program at Loma Linda University and is a lead researcher at the Healthy Minds Initiative. So without further ado, Dr. Sherazi is coming up here to talk about how to avoid Alzheimer's and how to build a better brain. Dr. Sherazi.
Hello, everyone. How are you all doing? It's pretty sunny here, so I'll be squinting a little bit, but it's so nice to be here to talk to you guys about something that's really, really important. It's near and dear to my heart. I have to say, I always speak with my husband, Dean, but he's not here today because he had another talk at California, so the kids and I are here, and my kids will be joining me on the stage later. But I'm really excited to talk to you guys about the brain. So I'm a neurologist. I see patients in the emergency room and in the ICU and in my clinic. I'm a stroke specialist and a memory specialist. And I also do research on lifestyle. What are some of the things that prevents devastating diseases like Alzheimer's disease, other kinds of dementias like vascular dementia, Parkinson's disease, and stroke. So I see patients in the clinic full-time, and I also do research to find out the effect of all of these elements on brain health. I'm looking for my clicker right now. I don't know where it is, but we'll see. In any case, I'll speak. Somewhere here? Oh, it's right here. Found it. Thank you. Sure, no worries. Okay. So this is a personal topic for me because I had two grandparents who suffered from Alzheimer's disease, and I saw how it affected these amazing people that were my role models growing up. My grandfather was a surgeon. He was a surgeon from Columbia University. He had a master's in public health. Giant of a man, very smart. And he started having memory problems, and slowly and gradually we saw Grandpa started losing parts of himself to the point where he couldn't recognize my mom and dad, and he couldn't recognize us, and it was one of the most painful experiences of my life. And to see the brain, such a strong human brain, slowly and gradually become like a child's brain, and to the point where they can't really do anything for themselves, intrigued me a lot. And that's why I went to this field, to understand it better. And I went to the field, thinking that hopefully someday I'll be able to find a treatment for it. So I worked at Columbia University, and my husband worked at NIH. But 15 years later, and we still don't have a single pill, because we've been looking at it in a wrong way, and nobody's been paying attention to prevention. And so I wanted to share some of my work with you guys. So here it is, the most incredible organ in our body. I always make a joke. I say, the rest of the body is there to hold the brain, and a lot of cardiologists and nephrologists get offended. I'm like, sorry, cardiologist, you can replace the heart, but the minute you replace the brain, you replace the person, don't you? This is it. This is us. This is our personality. This is where our emotions reside. This is where we make decisions every single second. This is us. And when you look at the brain during dissections, it's a jello-like organ. It's about 3 pounds, only 2% of the body's weight, but at any moment it consumes more than 25% of the body's energy. It's always working. It's a very, very active organ. So whatever we do, the kind of sleep we get, the kind of foods we eat, the way we move, it affects our brains first and then the rest of the body. We have 87 billion neurons, which are brain cells. Now, each of these cells can make as little as 2 connections with each other, or as many as 30,000 connections. And guess what? Those connections confer brain activity and your memories and your cognition. And the more connections you have, the better. And these connections are made and broken every single day at any age, which actually is an empowering message. We have control. We don't have control over the number of brain cells. Like a lot of people, when they have head injuries, like traumatic brain injuries, or some people who are football players, they're boxers, they have a lot of head injuries, brain cells die, but these connections continuously are made. We have about 1 quadrillion connections in totality, and it's stronger than any computer you've ever known. We've had examples of people living long, healthy lives. Who knows the lady down there? I think most of us do. That's Jane Goodall. She's an incredible woman, and most of her work, most of her beautiful writings have actually come after her 75th year of her age. She's in her 80s, she's probably close to her 90s, and she's thriving. She's not only preventing disease, she's thriving. And who knows this gentleman? I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is Dr. Wareham, Ellsworth Wareham. So I work at Loma Linda University, which is a blue zone. And over there, you get to see individuals well into their 80s, 90s, and beyond, living very healthy lives. And Dr. Wareham was a cardiothoracic surgeon. He did open to closed surgeries at age 95. And he stopped because he wanted to travel. He wasn't the kind of a physician where, he would just stand out there and then tell the residents, like, okay, you do this, you do that, or the nurse practitioner coming out. No. He did open to closed surgeries all by himself, and he was active, sharp, brilliant, and, when he retired, he was doing everything for himself. And at age 104, after a very short period of illness, he passed away. So in blue zones, or in areas where people live long, you actually see squaring of the curve, which means they don't have chronic diseases of aging for a very long time. They're very healthy, they're very active, and then they get sick, and then they pass away. And that's exactly what we want for ourselves. We want to be on our feet until the last minute of our existence on this planet. We don't want to be walking pharmacies. We want to thrive, and we want to be strong, and we want to live a cognitively vibrant life, an unforgettable life. How do we do that? Now, this is, I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is just a snapshot of a second of all the molecular activities that happen in one brain cell. It's crazy. There's a lot happening. So it actually, you can understand that the things we do every day affects these processes. Now we have different kinds of brain cells. We have the neurons, which are responsible for making memories and making decisions. And then we have these blue cells, which are called glial cells, and these are supporting cells. These are the janitor cells of our brain. You know, when we sleep, they get activated and they start cleansing the brain. And then you have other supporting cells that hold everything together. It's a crazy network, and it consumes a lot of energy. So it's important to know what you have to feed it to have a better and healthy brain. This is a picture of the arteries or the vessels in our brain. Now the brain is the most vascular organ in our body. They've actually calculated it. They said if you put all of the arteries in the brain end to end, they would span 400 miles. 400 miles of arteries in that little brain of ours. So when people tell you, you need to eat fat because brain is made out of fat, well, before the fat actually gets to your brain, it has to traverse all these arteries. And it's important to actually feed it the best food and the right kind of fats and the right kind of micronutrients, because if